Hello everyone, let's start with the first reading of economics. We will be completing module 1 today, basically module 12.1 in this lecture. So, module in economics, first will be in this reading, we'll be discussing about what are the different types of market structure. Like it can be perfect competition, it can be oligopoly, it can be monopolistic, it can be a monopoly market. So, what are the different types of market structure and how does the market structure affects the price, the equilibrium price in the long run and the short run? So, the first is what is the difference between long run and short run. So in the long run, in the short run, let's come to short run first. In the short run, at least one of the factors would be variable. Would be At least one of the factors would be fixed. Let's say we have labor and capital. So in the short run, the time is so short that you may be able to change the change the number of labors you have, but you may not be able to bring in more capital. So the capital is fixed. So at least one of the factors of production, it can be labor, capital, land, anything, it is fixed. And under long run, all the factors are variable. So it is possible to bring in more capital, it is possible to buy more land, it is possible to change to increase the number of machinery you have. So all the factors of production are fixed. So we define the short run as a time period over which some factors of production are fixed. So at least you will have one factor of production which will be fixed. So the firm cannot. So typically we assume that the capital is fixed in the short run. So we'll assume that it is fixed in the short run. So a firm cannot change its scale of operation. In the short run, the firm will not be able to change its scale of operations, plant and equipment, because if you do not have capital, you will not be able to buy more plants, buy more equipment over the short run. And under the long run, all the factors of reduction are variable. We would be discussing perfect competition first in this reading. So what is perfect competition? Perfect competition is a type of market structure over which all the firms in the market, they are price takers. The market price is determined by the demand and supply at the market level. So whatever at the market level the prices decide, all the firms would be taking up the same price. No firm has that power to change the price. So all the firms are the price takers. No firm is the price makers. Why? Because there are so many numbers in the firm. So even if one person leaves the industry, if one firm leaves the industry because they didn't find the price suitable to them, it would not affect the overall supply in the market. So no firm has the power to decide the price. The price is determined at an industry level, and all the buyers of the commodity, all the customers are also price takers. No customer has the power to manipulate the price. So all the firms are the price takers, the customers are the price takers. The price is determined at the industry level, and all the firms would be producing or selling the same kind of commodity, same homogeneous product they would be selling. There would be no difference. So any kind of marketing you do, any kind of advertisement you do, it would not have any impact on your selling. So this is what perfect competition is. We would be discussing what is the shutdown point and break-even point of under perfect competition in the short run and the long run. Now, for a firm, there would be some variable cost and there would be some fixed cost. Variable costs are the costs that would be dependent upon how much production you are doing, whether you are doing the production. So it would keep on changing. Let's say there's a firm that has some permanent employers and keeps on employing some people depending upon the level of production they are doing. So when the firm hires more people because of the level of production they are doing, it would be variable cost for them, because if it's a period of less demand, their product is not that demanded in the market and they do not need to produce that much, or they have buffer, so they can directly use that, so they do not need that extra labor. So the extra labor is variable cost for them, it keeps on changing. But the fixed cost, that is the permanent employees they have to pay them the salary, so they need them. So this is the fixed cost for them. If their place, whatever the operations they are doing, their place is on rent, they have taken that place on rent, so they have to pay the rent irrespective of whatever level of production they are doing. So variable costs depend on the level of production you are doing, and they keep on changing. But fixed cost doesn't depend on the level of production you are doing. It's fixed, and you have to pay no matter whether you are producing more, less, or high. Now your owner, the person who is owning the land in which you have built your factory, is not concerned that whether you had a good season or a bad season, whether you produced more or produced less. The rent would be fixed and you would have to pay that. So there are fixed costs and then there are variable costs. Now the basis on the fixed cost and the variable costs are shutdown point and break-even point would differ under short run and long run. So first we would see a graph and we would understand everything with the help of the graph itself. Now, since the firm is every firm is a price taker in the perfect competition, what would happen, like giving just a background not there in our readings, if this is the industry, like this is the industry price and the quantity, this is my demand, this is my supply. Demand is downward sloping, supply is upward sloping, because if the price of the commodity increases, the demand of that commodity will fall, and vice versa. If the price increases, the supply of that quantity will increase. Now, if the demand and the quantity at an industry level, they have decided that this price would be, so all the firms would have to sell at this price. So this is the price all the firms would have to sell at. So what all the firms are selling at this price. So if they are selling at this price, they are selling zero quantities, and if they're selling at this price, they are selling zero quantities. So none of the customers would be willing to buy above or below that. So at this price, they're only selling quantities. So this is also my demand curve under perfect competition. Now, what is average revenue? Average revenue is total revenue divided by price. Total revenue divided by price. Sorry, total revenue divided by quantities. So what is average revenue? Total revenue would be quantity into price by quantity. So average revenue is equal to the price. So this is my average revenue also. And what is marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is change in the total revenue because of the change in quantity. So if I increase the quantity by, let's say, 1, what would be my change in revenue? It would be P, because my price is fixed. The price is what is decided at the industry level. So marginal revenue is also P. So average revenue, marginal revenue, and average and the price would be the same level, P. So if this is the cost and this is the quantity, basically this is the price and this is the quantity, and this is my P1, this is my P2. So P1 is equal to AR equal to MR, that we know. And what is my profit maximizing level? What is the point at which any of my, whatever we'll be doing later, that profit maximizing output, profit maximizing output for all types of organizations occur at profit maximizing output. They occur at marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. For all types of basically industries, we'll be looking at what is the point where my marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. Now, since here my marginal revenue is equal to price, which we have seen right now, so price is equal to marginal cost, I would be looking at that point. So this is basically the overall condition for profit maximizing output for all types of organization. This is specific to perfect competition. Price is equal to marginal cost. This is the marginal cost. This is the graph of the marginal cost. This would be the graph of average total cost, and this would be the graph of average variable cost. The gaps between the average total cost and average variable cost also keeps on decreasing. Why they keeps on decreasing? Because uh, apart from the average total cost and average variable cost, we have average fixed cost. Now, since average, what would be the formula of average fixed cost? Total fixed cost by Q. Now, since total fixed cost is remaining constant, as soon as Q keeps on decreasing, quantity keeps on decreasing, average fixed cost will also decrease. So, average total cost is equal to average fixed cost plus average variable cost. Now, this is this keeps on decreasing. So, the gap between average total cost and average variable cost will also decrease, because the gap is what? The gap is average fixed cost itself. And why are they first downward sloping and then upward sloping? Because before, when the quantity keeps on decreasing, you have enough employees, so that you can make use of those employees. Okay, let's say you have 10 employees, and you are able to produce 20 units of commodities, but they have the potential of producing 50 commodities. So once you reach the point of 50 commodities, after that, once you have when in the process of reaching from 10 to 50 commodities, you are making use of your labor. So whatever amount you have invested into the labors, you are making good use of that. But after that, in uh, so you are experiencing economies of scale here. After that, this economies of scale rises, so your cost per output also increases. So first they are downward sloping, and then they are upward sloping, and this is the minimum point. Again, one thing, marginal cost, whenever we are making any graph, marginal cost cuts the average total cost and average variable cost at their minimum point. The marginal cost would cut the average total cost and average variable cost at their minimum point. Now, under short run, what will happen? You have your average total cost, you have your average variable cost, and your marginal cost and everything. You have your price. So profit maximizing condition would be here, wherever price is equal to marginal cost. So if P1 is my price, at P1, what is happening? At P1, this is my price, and my price is here equal to average total cost. So at P1, no matter whether it is short run or long run, my price is able to cover the average total cost. Basically, this is the price, and these because price is equal to the marginal cost at this point. So this would be the quantity I would be selling, profit maximizing output. So this would be my revenue. And since average total cost is here, this is my total cost also. So here my profit is 0. Here the profit is 0. So break even point would be what? Break even point for either under long run or short run, break even point would be what? You are making neither profits nor losses. So break even point would be at the point where total revenue is equal to total cost. So this is the point, because what is the total revenue? This area is the total revenue. Price is equal to average revenue is equal to marginal revenue. Total revenue is average revenue into cost. So this is what? The area of this is what? Length into breadth, average revenue, length into breadth, average revenue, and this is the breadth quantity. So average revenue into quantity is the area, which is the total revenue, and cost is what? Total cost. Again, it's the same thing. Here you have average total cost. This is my average total cost into quantity. So average total cost into quantity is my total cost. So total revenue is equal to total cost. So this would be my break even point, where total revenue is equal to total cost. So this is done, break even point is done. Okay, here my P1 is equal to the marginal average total cost. Now what if the P's lies here? That is below P1 but above P2. Now below P1 and above P2, I am still able to cover my average variable cost. The variable costs are less, but I am not able to cover the average total cost. The total cost is more. Now, under short run, what is happening? If you are able to cover even your average variable cost, because see, if my price is greater than average variable cost, I will keep going. Why? Because if price is greater than average variable cost, but price is not equal to average total cost, so price is not covering the average total cost, but still it is covering the average variable cost and it is greater than that. Now if I shut down in short run when my price was greater than average variable cost, if I shut down in short run, I still have to bear the average fixed cost, because I still would have to pay the rent. I would still, because I had a lease of 5 years. So for 5 years, I would still have to pay the rent in such a short span of time. I cannot just, break away my lease. So I would still have to pay the fixed cost which I had. So if my price was greater than average variable cost, so my price had covered my average variable cost and it was still greater. So it had covered some part of fixed cost as well. It had covered some part of fixed cost as well. So my total loss would be what? Less than the fixed cost. But if I shut down at that point, my total loss would be equal to my fixed cost, because I would still have to bear the fixed cost. So the firm keeps, in the short run, the firm keeps on producing as long as the price is greater than average variable cost. What would be the shutdown point for the firm? In the short run, the shutdown point for the firm would be price is equal to average variable cost. After this, here, my firm is not even able to cover the average variable cost. So if I keep on producing when price is less than average variable cost, what would happen? I have to bear the average variable cost also. And apart from that, I would have to bear the average fixed cost also. So my losses becomes equal to average fixed cost plus average variable cost minus the price, whatever the some part of average variable cost the price is compensating. But still my loss would is greater, because if I just stop reducing, my loss is equal to average fixed cost, which is less than average fixed plus average variable minus price. So in short run, I would shut down my firm at price is equal to average variable cost. So short run shutdown point is this. What happens under long run? Under long run, you do not have to bear the fixed cost price as well, because all the variables are what? All the factors of production are variable. There is no factor of production which is fixed. So there is no concept that even if I shut down, I would have to keep bearing on the fixed cost. So I would not continue when my price is greater than average variable cost. I would only continue when my price is greater than average total cost. If overall at an aggregate level, if my price is able to cover my average total cost, then I will continue. If my price is less than average total cost, then I would rather stop producing, because if I stop producing altogether, I'm making zero losses. But if my price is less than average total cost, I would have to bear the cost. Because here in this case, let's say if price is greater than average variable cost, why would I stop producing? Because if price is greater than average variable cost, okay, the average variable cost is covered, but I would still have to bear some part of fixed cost, which if I stop producing and altogether, I could have just ignored. So on the long run, I would, my shut down point would be price is equal to average total cost. So under long run, I would, this is my shutdown point. Under long run, this is my shutdown point. Under short run, here I will only be producing in short run. I will not be producing in long run, because the prices are less than the average total cost. Here I will not be producing in short run as well as long run. This was about perfect competition. What if it is an imperfect competition? That is, you are not a price taker. You have the ability to change the prices according to you. So the price here would not be a straight line. It would not be a straight line. And the marginal revenue would not be equal to the average revenue. It will not be equal to the basically price. So here, instead of defining our conditions in respect of average revenue, we'll be considering and defining our conditions in respect of total revenue itself. So this would be my price, this would be my quantity. This is total revenue. Why? Because as price keeps on increasing, total revenue will increase. This is total revenue. This is total cost. Again, the same thing. First, there would be economies of scale. So my total cost would keep on falling. Falling, after that, my total cost will increase. So this is the maximum point, maximum gap. Here my total cost is less. Here my total revenue is more. So this is the maximum gap. This is the Q maximum. Here I am making zero profit, zero loss, zero profit, zero loss, because total revenue is equal to total cost. So what would be my break-even point? I have two break-even points. In the previous condition, we had defined break-even point as price is equal to average total cost. Because when price is equal to average total cost, I can say, like, we can define here when price is equal to average total cost as break-even point instead of total revenue is equal to total cost. Why? Because here, what is the total revenue? Price into Q, and total cost, again, it would be this average total cost into Q. So here we had a rectangle sort of situation, but here we don't have that. So our break even point here would be total revenue is equal to total cost. Here I can write that break even point is total revenue is equal to total cost. This is like the general condition. But why can I write like price is equal to average total cost? Because what is total revenue? Price and quantity in this case. And what is total cost? Average total cost into quantity. So price is equal to average total cost also I can write. So this is the break even point under short run or the long run. Again, there would be some same thing. If total revenue is greater than total, if my total cost is greater than total revenue, whatever my total cost is, that is greater than total revenue. In our previous in perfect competition case, what we were doing, we were taking if our average total cost, I was talking in the term of averages and not totals, but in case of imperfect competition, we will be looking at total cost and not average. So if total cost is greater than total revenue, in that case it was if average variable cost is greater than my price, because price was equal to the average revenue. So if average total cost is greater than, if total cost is greater than total revenue, and my total revenue is greater than total variable cost, so my revenue is able to cover some part of variable cost, but it is not able to cover the whole total cost. So I would operate in short run, not in long run. And if my total revenue is less than total variable cost itself, I would not operate, I would shut down, no matter whether it is short run or long run, because my revenue is even not able to cover the variable cost only. Coming to the last topic of this reading, economies and diseconomies of scale. So my long run average total cost, it is nothing but an envelope around the short run average total costs. So under, when it's a short run, we have discussed that under short run, we would not be able to basically change the operations of the scale. So there would be different operations of the scale, the different scale of operations at which you would be working under short run. But under long run, we are able to do so. So under short run, we have different operations of scales of operations. Under what So these are various short run average total cost curves. SRATC 2, 3, 4, and 5. So these are various short run average total cost curves. Long run average total cost, this is long run average total cost. This is an envelope around the short run average total cost, taking their minimum points. It joins their minimum points. This is the minimum point. This is the minimum point. This is the minimum. So long run average total cost is an envelope around the short run average total cost, and it's U-shaped and it takes up all the minimum points. This point, the minimum point of long run average total cost, it is the minimum cost at which the firm can continue its production. It's called minimum efficient scale. This downward sloping part represents economies of scale. That is, as the quantity is increasing, the price goes on decreasing, because maybe the labors, they were not utilized that much. The labors are utilized perfectly. The firm is at a position where the firm, there is good cooperation between everything. Now here, when the quantities are increasing, the cost is increasing. This is called diseconomies of scale. There may be no synergy between the different segments, or the labor may, go, there can be labor strikes. So the when there is economies of scale, your average total cost decreases with increase in price, and when there is diseconomies of scale, your average total cost increases with increase in price. We have also seen that average total cost first falls and then increases. So this is from how the whole situation comes. This was obviously in terms of short run and long run combinedly, but the economies of scale and diseconomies of scale is the whole concept behind the shape of the average total cost curve. So that's it for this reading.